Hey, what's up guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. Hope everyone's doing well and I hope you enjoyed today's video. We're going to keep this short and sweet, and FYI, I will be back on YouTube either Saturday or Sunday. So hopefully we can get some type of market move for the altcoin market in the meantime. So before we dive into the charts, just keep in mind that this week we do have the World Economic Forum's official event, their annual event DAVOS, taking place the 15th to the 19th. They're going to be covering all types of topics, and the biggest names in the world, in government, in politics, for Fortune 500s are in attendance. So their agenda is going to be covering digitalization, energy, AI, climate, all types of things that are huge for the overall industry. We also know that Casper Labs is going to be presenting at the Hub Davos for 2024 this same week, alongside Circle, IBM, Coinbase's Chief Policy Officer. I hope there's some good news. We're going to find out if there's some good developments going on or if this is another big nothing burger. So we have Coinbase here. They had a fireside chat with CZ of Binance last year, and they've had Kraken attend the previous 2 years. And yet Casper's still not listed on either of those exchanges. So we have a bunch of different organizations in attendance, and I'm excited for the big chats with all the layer ones, including Solana, Hedera, and Casper Labs. There's going to be a telecom panel and more insights on DropLinked and Sports Advantage, Microsoft, and then a bunch of pharma companies regarding the supply chain use case. And I'd really hope to hear some type of news related to USDC and a stablecoin running on Casper. The Bank of International Settlements, we have IBM, and then down here we also have Meta, and I'm thinking about that new AI alliance that we've covered in a few videos with Meta and IBM, which they founded. So on Yahoo Finance, even sharing the two initiatives will be closely watched, the AI Government Alliance with Google, Microsoft, IBM, and Meta. And while the cost is free for WEF members to attend, the WEF membership is reportedly over £50,000. We can even see a quote right here. It's hard to see generative AI not being a key theme this year. And why is attending Davos important? Because once a year, the biggest names in the world attend. Governments, politicians, and CEOs of the world's largest companies. They welcome over 100 governments from around the world in the WEF's 1,000 partner companies. And even last year, there were more than 2,000 delegates, including big names like Christine Lagarde. So I'm sure this week there's just going to be a bunch of clips uploaded. I know the Hub Davos for Casper Labs will be live streamed, 100% of it, but I'm likely not going to be, watching 8 hours per day or something like that. So I know there's going to be a lot of clips produced. I will be going through it as much as possible over the coming weeks and sharing anything that I found interesting. And here we have CNBC Davos 2024, the WEF, a variety of speakers, and I believe last time I checked, we have Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, there as well. Okay, let's quickly dive into the price charts here. So up top, we have Bitcoin dominance on the weekly time frame, and down below, we have the total market cap of the crypto asset class, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, so really the entire altcoin market. So just as a comparison, we don't have a bunch of price history, it actually starts back here, but looking at the previous two alt seasons, so in 2017 we saw the big crash for Bitcoin dominance, and a lot of that volume and value went into the alts and pushed them up. So we saw a 60% drop. The next alt season we had in Q1 of 2021, we saw over a 40% drop. And this is what's often referred to as alt season, and that's when we see a lot of these alts get that chance to draw parabolas. So in early 2017, during the super cycle, we just saw the altcoin market go up thousands of percent, but we don't have all the price history back here. Looking at the same dates, we have the previous alt season from December 2020 until May of 2021. Bitcoin dominance collapses and the alt market does very well. So if we're clearly seeing diminishing returns, will we have another alt season, and what type of ROI could we expect? The all-time high for the altcoin market excluding Bitcoin and Ether was around 1.1 trillion. And taking a look at Bitcoin dominance, if we did fall from here, there's still plenty of room for a 20-30% drop if we retested these previous lows. And we still have an open gap on the Bitcoin dominance chart at 42.9%, so I assume when we get and close that gap, alts are going to perform fairly well. And this is the same chart I've been sharing over the past couple years, but we really haven't had too much of a change. We've shown signs of strength kind of breaking out of this accumulation down there, but I'm still waiting on that big drop whenever we get it. And friendly reminder, this is on the weekly chart, so every single candle we see is an entire week. So these types of structures take a lot of time to draw. This is not the 4-hour or 30-minute chart. Next up, shared by Lynn Alden, 92.5% of equities are held by the top 10 wealthiest Americans. Absolutely crazy. And for perspective, the global equities market, the stock market, is well over 100 trillion, with firms like Vanguard holding a large percentage of the world's wealth in some of the world's largest companies. And Vanguard is super influential, and they don't like Bitcoin. Over the past couple weeks, I've seen some news related to privacy tokens, so we've seen a lot of scares with privacy tokens like Monero, Zcash on a regular basis. It seems like once a year, every 6 months, there's either delisting or some type of news. But we know that privacy is super important, especially for enterprise adoption, and that's something that Rose, or Oasis Protocol, does very well, and we know that Rose is actually in the list of Grayscale. under crypto assets that are being considered by Grayscale. Because Grayscale has all types of funds, they recently just added XRP back to their big basket. So big thanks to Ed for sharing this. He does a lot and covers Rose in detail. And Rose was one of those alts just in accumulation for well over a year, and then it finally got that pop. Similar to Chainlink or Link, this was an accumulation for well over 500 days, and then it finally just drew a huge impulse. It closed one of its larger fair value gaps. There are other fair value gaps in the weekly time frame, so going from this wick to the bottom of this wick and just drawing all the way across, we can see it was kind of filled a little bit, but not even 50% of this imbalance was filled. We've had higher cap alts like AVAX and Solana do very well and draw even higher, but for the most part, there are still plenty of assets down here at their lows, including Energy Web Token and more. Next up, we have shared by Wrath Economin, so Chimmoney, or however you say that, looks like chimney, of the XRP Ledger Accelerator, Techstars23, has partnered with Ripple's user CorePayFX to redeem payouts into bank accounts in more countries. So with this partnership, this group will have access to CorePay's cross-border solutions, accessibility to more cash-out options and payouts to bank accounts in over 130 countries. We can see on LinkedIn 6 months ago, this group officially joined the XRP Ledger Accelerator program to drive innovation in blockchain payments. And really quick, shared by the HBAR Foundation for 2023, their revenue increased by over 900%. And this is what I call an amazing report, and this is what I'd like to see for a variety of other L1s. 2023, the HBAR Foundation, going over stats, revenue, costs, transactions, growth of accounts, everything we need to see, plus a 2024 strategy. Going over grants, going over funding, all types of great stats. Network performance, volume. But we can see for a lot of these protocols, it takes time to develop, and now over the past year, we're finally seeing some revenue. Especially with Aberdeen and Hedera tokenizing their money market funds, the one fund is at least £15 billion. And according to the gentleman over at Aberdeen, I uploaded clips of the actual interview a few months ago, they said their AUM today is over $600 billion. So these are big groups not just talking about tokenization, but they're finally starting to do tokenization today. I also wanted to share this quick clip by Jim. This is proof that a life with ups and downs takes you further and faster than a monotonous and linear life. Now notice, they still both got to the same destination, but the ups and downs created more momentum to get further ahead faster. We had a big announcement from Hedera the other day. The Hedera Council has announced that it has voted to give board approval to allocate 4.86 billion HBARs, or the tokens, of additional funds toward further development of the Hedera network and enabling its decentralized governance. The vast majority of that allocation of 4.2 billion HBAR tokens will be allocated by the Hedera board for ecosystem development among existing initiatives including the HBAR Foundation, the Hashgraph Association, and DLT Science Foundation. Additionally, over 600 million HBAR will be used for the operational expenses of the Hedera Council and for payments to early SAFT purchasers. So for HBAR, we're just under 8 cents. So looking at current prices, that's over $380 million. So the question is, will that be sell pressure and be a bad thing for anybody that's selling their tokens, or will a lot of these funds actually be used to further develop the ecosystem, dApps, and overall just the network? And this is something we see a lot of layer 1s do. They have to reinvest into their ecosystem. We know that their current circulating supply is about 67% of their max supply. And last but not least, we're going to quickly cover Caleb and Brown, my favorite OTC broker in the crypto space. You can find a link to create a free account in the top of this video description, in the pinned comment, and then also up top in my link tree. You don't have to use that link, but if you do, you get a 30% discount on trading fees. With the recent scares of different exchanges, with Binance and the DOJ, with Kraken, even Coinbase, even though they're very well established in a public company, I want to make sure I have on and off ramps with different organizations. Not just with exchanges, but OTC brokers that are regulated. I've been using Caleb and Brown since 2021. I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket, and I want to have on and off ramps in case any exchanges ever go down. It's an easy to use dashboard with over 300 plus assets supported, including XRP, HBAR, Casper, etc. So whether you're an individual, whether you want to trade crypto through a company or an LLC, whether you have a hedge fund, etc., you can use this. Anybody can use this platform. You do have to do KYC, and the minimum trade is at least $500. And you can trade right within the dashboard, and you also get your own personal broker. This is Jake, he's awesome. They need to update this because they have over 300 assets available and closer to 30,000 global clients. And they have a huge emphasis on security with all of my holdings in enterprise-grade cold storage with MPC. They're super responsive via email during the work week. I usually talk to them on the phone, even though I can just trade right within my dashboard 24/7. And what's nice about an OTC broker is they are not dependent on a single exchange. They're working with dozens of market makers and liquidity providers. So they have relationships with all major institutions in the industry, all exchanges, DEXs, and OTC desks, and liquidity pools. And what's really cool with an OTC broker is they have guaranteed liquidity, but I can actually swap my assets directly between another asset. So I know BitTrue has a lot of XRP trading pairs, but for example, I could trade any alt like API3 directly in the DOT. Feel free to check them out. Even if you don't use them, I think it's important to at least be KYC'd and have this as an on and off ramp. Because during a liquidity event or in future bull runs, I want to make sure that I at least have different options if any exchange is down. I've deposited crypto, I've withdrawn crypto, I've done bank wires, whatever works. And when you do a crypto withdrawal, they are actually verifying the wallet with a microtransaction, say it's 30 cents, just to make sure that it actually gets to the destination before sending the rest. So they're following a bunch of best practices. Thanks for watching, guys. Big thanks to all that hit the like button, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate if you could hit the like button, let me know your thoughts down below, and my link tree is linked in the top of this YouTube video description, with all links, crypto resources, and discounts. I'll catch you in the next one.